Hi, I'm Larry Morrison. This is Casey Cheeseworks. Tonight we're up at I-35 in Winston, Missouri for Tompkins Industries Night of the Races, where there's well over 10 classes of cars tonight. Starting off with the ULMA late models, with their championship night out here, and of their season. Also guest class at MLS Midwest Lightning Sprints and the SMVR Show Me Vintage Racers, with the weekly classes premiering the USRA Modifieds, USRA B Mods, USRA Stock Cars, Grand Nationals, Pure Stocks, E-Mods, and Sport Compacts. We're getting they got track packed in, a couple cars going out to do a little pack in this a little more. Driver meeting just got over with, and we'll get to racing here up here at I-35, where there's more dirt tracking at its best.
77 of Dean Ray. He's going to get a good one. The 05 a heater. He slides up and clears the 20X of Bowler. Here comes the 05. He's going to work the inside. The 20X of Bowler. The 15 of Mitch Hovden. They're going to split. Heater makes a mistake in his line choice, as now the 20X of John Bowler Jr. moves into second.
John Bowler Jr. will take over that number 2 spot, moving Heater back to the 3rd spot. Hovden will now be in that 4th position. John Bowler using that high line for perfection. He is following Dean Ray through. Now here comes Heater back, trying to work on the inside. He will have that inside line on Bowler. As we got one around, the 22X again. Carson Masoner loops it down in turn number 2.
That will bring out the yellow flag, and that will also end the feature for the 22X of Carson Masoner, as that will be his 5 of Brett Heater. He's going to get to the inside of the 77 of Dean Ray. He's going to go right to the top side of the racetrack. Maybe a little bit of contact. Is now the 20X of John Bowler Jr. He makes a mistake. He's going to go from 3rd all the way back to 8th, as it's still the 77 out front, followed by the 05 of Brett Heater, and now the 15 of Mitch Hovden. He moves into 3rd.
One mistake is all it takes to go from the front to the back with this caliber of drivers here at I-35 Speedway. Dean Ray still has that top line working, as Brett Heater cannot figure out a way around the fast 77 of Dean Ray.
It's still about a car length between the 77 Ray and the 05 of Brett Heater. 2 to go. This time by, and don't sleep in the picture as well. These 3 have separated themselves from the rest of the field. Now the 05 of Brett Heater. He looks to the inside of the 77 of Dean Ray. He's going to think better of it and slide back to the top side of the racetrack.
Ray may have slipped ever so slightly down in turn number 2. That opened the door for the 05 of Heaters. The white flag comes out. All eyes on this racetrack, and we're going to take it to the end. We got Hollywood Dean Ray. We got Brett Heater. We got Hovden. Here comes Hovden looking on the inside of Heaters. We go down the back straightaway. Who's it going to be, race fans?
And turn number 3, the 05 of Brett Heater. He gives a little bit of a love tap to the 77. He's going to give a little bit more contact. They're going to drag race down the front straightaway, and it will be the 77 of Dean Ray that will nose the 05 of Brett Heater. 3rd will go to the 15 of Mitch Hovden.
If you don't
They will come to the green flag off of turn number 4. A tough start for the 78 of Derek Hicks. The 75 of Gunnar Martin, he will lead the field into turn number 1.
Gunnar Martin on the high side, Derek Hicks on the low side. Hicks gets extremely sideways. Here comes Jackson as he will settle into that third spot as Hicks gets straightened out. But up front, everybody chasing that 75 of Gunnar Martin.
The 75 of Gunnar Martin wastes no time getting to the high side of the racetrack. That's where he won the race last week. It looks like that's where he's going to want to be this week. It's a little bit lower in turn number 1 than we've seen him in his heat racing feature last week, but he has already got about 8 car lengths into turn number 3.
Lewis Jackson, he will move that 3J car into that second spot. He will move ahead of Derek Hicks, and here comes the big daddy Dennis Elliott as Elliott tries to make the move on Hicks as we go into turn number 1.
The 75 of Gunnar Martin, he is out front. The 3J of Lewis Jackson runs second. The 78 of Derek Hicks third. The 29 of Elliott fourth, and the 2H of John Hansen. He rounds out your top 5, but back out front, the 75 of Gunnar Martin, he still leads lap number 3.
Derek Hicks, he now moves that car to the high side. Dennis Elliott to the low side as they go down the back straightaway. John Hansen, he is also in the mix in that 2H as he and Jesse Willard doing battle. But up front, everybody chasing Gunnar Martin as that car number 75 has got it checked out, pulling away.
The battle now for third. The 78 of Derek Hicks, he's got company from the 29 of Dennis Elliott. All these cars are trying to work the high side of the racetrack. They're trying to make their moves on the bottom, but the traction is just not there for many of these drivers. As still off of turn number 4, 5 laps in, 15 to go for the 75 of Gunnar Martin.
Can Gunnar Martin make it 2 in a row as he has got that car out front? He loves that high line here at I-35 Speedway. Lewis Jackson impressing me tonight with a solid second place run as he has got that car up front. As yellow caution coming out onto the speedway, yellow on the racetrack.
And it looks like we're going to have debris on the front straightaway. Can't really tell what that is over. He's going to go high. He's going to cause that to be 3 wide further back in the field. Here comes the 78 of Derek Hicks. He's going to try to throw a slider into turn number 1, unable to make it stick. Your leader still the 75 of Gunnar Martin.
Derek Hicks makes it work to his advantage, though, as he hangs on to that second spot. He will be low. Martin high as they come down the front straightaway. Dennis Elliott also in the mix. And look at John Hansen in that 2H making his presence felt as he and Lewis Jackson doing battle for 4th and 5th.
75 of Gunnar Martin. He's still using the high side of the racetrack. Now he's got a challenger from the 78 of Derek Hicks. Here comes the 29 of Dennis Elliott as well. The 3J of Lewis Jackson. A tough restart for him. He falls back to 4th and rounding out the top 5 is a 2H of John Hansen. But here comes the 40 of Jesse Willard fighting to get into the top 5.
75, he has got that car out front, but he's got company. Derek Hicks, he is a man that can run you down and win on this fast speedway along with Dennis Elliott. And how about Lewis Jackson? He may have slipped, but he's still in that 4th position as the laps start winding down. 8 laps in the books this time by.
There's only about 4 car lengths between your leader, the 75 of Gunnar Martin, and the 78 of Derek Hicks. The 175 of Jason Park. He's going to pull that car off of the turn 3 exit. That will end his feature tonight at I-35 Speedway. Your top 4, they have all settled into their positions. Single file, about 3 car lengths in between each other into turn number 1.
Derek Hicks trying to fill this racetrack out as Gunnar Martin leads. Here will come down the back straightaway. Hicks holding his position about 3 car lengths back, and Dennis Elliott about 4 car lengths further back into that 3rd position.
The 78 of Derek Hicks, he's going to continue to try to find a way to get some speed to catch up to the 75 of Gunnar Martin. 10 laps in, 10 to go, halfway that time by.
As we go into turn number 3, Gunnar Martin still paving the way. Can he make it 2 in a row, or will Derek Hicks step up? Dennis Elliott also in the mix as Hicks slips around. That's going to allow Elliott to close up on that 2nd place car. Can Elliott get by the fast 78 of Derek Hicks as he looks on the inside down the back straightaway?
The 75 of Gunnar Martin, he slides just a little bit too high off of turn number 2, almost into the wall. He has to slow down just a little bit to gather that car up. That's going to bring the 78 of Derek Hicks within 2 car lengths into turn number 1.
Derek Hicks, he can see him, he can run with him, but he just cannot pass him as we go down the back straightaway. Here comes Hicks again. He is within a car length now as we head into turn number 3. Great racing action, USRA modified style.
The 75 of Gunnar Martin, he slides a little bit high. It's now down to 1 car length into turn number 1 is the 40 of Jesse Willard. He's going to spin over in turn number 4, and that will bring out the yellow flag with 13 laps in the books and 7 more to go as the battle for the lead was just starting to take shape. Martin, he's going to try to use the high side of the racetrack. I don't think that was a good idea, as we're now 3 wide as the 78 of Derek Hicks. He's going to try to throw a slider into turn number 1. He's going to slide up in front of the 75 of Gunnar Martin. Gunnar Martin's going to try to pull the crossover, but now the 78 of Derek Hicks pulls away. Your new leader is the 78 of Derek Hicks.
How about Derek Hicks? That Ford horsepower working as he will take over that lead down the front straightaway with laps winding down. Derek Hicks, new leader in the 1.
It looks as though the 75 of Gunnar Martin has lost the handle on that race car. He's just hanging that rear end out a little bit more than is needed. It looks like he's worn the tires off of that race car as the 78 of Derek Hicks. He is starting to pull away with just 5 more laps to go.
River Valley Ag on the side of that Ravenwood, Missouri driver's car, the 78 of Derek Hicks. This is his kind of racetrack, as he has always been able to run a dry slick. Dennis Elliott back to 3rd spot, and John Hanson up to 4th. That's a little bit of contact between those two as they come down the back straightaway, now the front.
The 75 of Gunnar Martin, he obviously has started to slow down as he's got cars lined up behind him trying to find a way around. He runs 2nd, the 29 of Elliott 3rd, the 2H of John Hanson 4th, with the 99J of Billy Hoover. He is up to 5th, followed by the 97 of Houston Johnson.
Just what Derek Hicks wants to see is those guys battling behind him as Gunnar Martin runs in that 2nd position. 3rd spot is Dennis Elliott and then John Hanson. Exactly what the 78 needs to see is those cars bunched up behind him as he is pulled out to a substantial lead now as he comes down the front straightaway with 2 laps to go this time by.
It's about a half straightaway lead now for the 78 of Derek Hicks, the 75 of Gunnar Martin. He continues to hold off the 29 of Dennis Elliott. Now Elliott's going to get a run off of turn number 2. He's going to try to work to the inside, unable to get to the inside quarter panel, is off of turn number 4. The white flag is now out for the 75 of Derek Hicks.
One more time around for the Ravenwood, Missouri driver, the 78 of Derek Hicks, as he has got that car out front. Down the back straightaway, race fans, Jacob's going to take us home.
The 78 of Derek Hicks. He had a great restart with 7 to go. He made the slide job work in turns number 1 and 2, and he will pick up and win your USRA modified feature here tonight at I-35 Speedway.
Car number 75, he will finish in that 2nd position. That is Gunnar Martin. 29 of Dennis Elliott 3rd. 2H.
Flag racing off of turn number 4.
And here they come, race fans side by side, wheel to wheel, door to door. As they come down the front straightaway, green flag in the air. It looks like car number 5 is going to have the advantage. Cordray rather is going to lead them as we come off turn number 2 as he is sideways. Goes it back up. Aaron Moran will take that top spot into 3.
The 23 of Cody Holtkamp. He makes contact with the 13 JR of Colton Leal. That's going to be an early setback as it's the 1X of Aaron Moran. He leads lap number 1.
Moran, he has got the lead, but Cordray not going away. Cordray finding that high side to his liking as he has got that car high and wide down the back straightaway, trying to run down the speedy 1X of Moran.
1X of Aaron Moran. He uses the low side of the racetrack. He slides to the top side. The 5 of Cordray. He's using the high side of the racetrack. Those two have separated themselves from the rest of the field. The 22H of Dustin Hodges. He runs 3rd.
Cordray, good run for him as Hodges runs in that 3rd spot. Up front, though, everybody's chasing that 1X of Aaron Moran. Aaron Moran knows this racetrack. Burlington horsepower under the hood as he comes down the front straightaway. Your leader, the 1X, but Cordray gaining as we go through 1.
Looking back further in the field, the 23 of Cody Holtkamp. He's worked his way through about half through the field. He's now going to move into that 5th position off of turn number 2. The 23 of Cody Holtkamp continues to work his way to the front of the field.
As they come down the front straightaway, Moran's still going to lead them, but he's got company. Cordray not going away as he runs in that 2nd spot. And how about Hodges in that 22H? Good run for him. But coming to the front is your current point leader, Cody Holtkamp, coming to the front in that car number 23.
Holtkamp has now moved his way into the 4th position, but he's got a whole straightaway to make up if he wants to catch the 1X of Aaron Moran. Aaron Moran's about 4 car lengths ahead in front of the 5 of Tommy Cordray.
None of these guys are a slouch out here on this speedway, as all of them are doing battle at the very best. We got Benning. He is doing battle with that 13 car as they come down the front straightaway. But up front, we got a battle for the lead as you got car number 5 of Cordray. He is on the high side. Moran using the low line out here on a fast, smooth, slick speedway, I-35.
The 1X of Aaron Moran. He is right down next to the tractor tires. The 5 of Tommy Cordray. He's up at about as high as you can go on the speedway. The 22 2H of Dustin Hodges. He's down there on the low side of the racetrack. That is your top 3. The 1X of Aaron Morant continues to lead into turn number 3.
As we got one around right in front of our leaders, race fans, right in front of the leaders, yellow flag coming out onto the speedway. All leaders taking evasive action. Nice move by the front runners to miss that car.
Need to get to victory lane, and a great restart from the 1X of Aaron Morant is now the 22H of Dustin Hodges. He moves into that second position.
Great start by Hodges as he will take over that 2 spot. But here comes Cordray back. Cordray using that high line. He will take back over that 2nd spot as they get ready to come down the front straightaway. Aaron Morant way up the racetrack using that high line to perfection. He will lead that lap as we got 8 laps in the book.
The 23 of Holtkamp. He is all over the rear bumper of the 22H of Dustin Hodges. Hodges, he's going to scoot away a little bit, about 3 car lengths over the 23 of Holtkamp. Is now the 65 of John Benning. He moves into the top 5, but out front is still the 1X of Aaron Morant.
As they come by the grandstand, Morant's still going to lead him by Holtkamp. He is right there gaining on him. But that car number 5 of Cordray, he is within striking distance. And let's don't count out Hodges at 22H as he runs in the 3rd spot. Great racing action, late model style as we're halfway through this feature.
The 1X of Aaron Morant, he is taking care of business out front. The 23 of Cody Holtkamp, he is going to need to find some speed in that race car, or he may be seeing this championship slip away, as it's the 1X of Morant out front, the 5 of Cordray second, the 22H of Hodges third, the 23 of Holtkamp fourth, and the 65 of Benning rounding out the top 5.
Great racing action as Holtkamp doing all he can, but all he can see is Hodges getting smaller in front of him. Also that 5 of Cordray as he is separating him from Aaron Morant, who Aaron Morant running this racetrack to perfection, high in 3 and 4, low in 1 and 2. He knows his way around I-35 Speedway.
12 laps in the books, 8 to go for the 1X of Aaron Morant, who has about 8 car lengths off of turn number 2. Your top 4 have all separated themselves. Everyone's single file around I-35 Speedway, as this time 13 down, 7 to go.
Here comes Aaron Morant as he will take that 1X through turn number 1. Again, very low on the racetrack in 1 and 2, high in 3 and 4. As Cordray has stayed on the high side of the racetrack the entire race. And Hodges with a solid 3rd place run here tonight as they come down the front straightaway.
The 23 of Cody Holtkamp. He is running out of time to find anything to gain any more positions on the speedway. Out front, the 1X of Aaron Morant. He's going to have to work around lap traffic. The 29C of Clint Nemo. He is going to get around the 29C quite easily, as it's the 1X of Aaron Morant, this time by 5 to go.
As we go down the back straightaway, race fans, or front straightaway rather, head into turn number 1, coming off turn number 2. No problems with lap traffic. It's the 1X of Morant's going to lead them down the back straightaway as we go through turn number 3. Lap traffic ahead of him. Let's see how he deals with that. Back up the racetrack in 3 and 4.
All of your top 4 competitors are right around the top side of this racetrack. The 1X of Aaron Morant, he's using the middle of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. He's now going to work around the 10 of John Willard. He's going to dispose of him quite easily, and now he has a little bit of a clear track ahead with just 3 laps remaining for the 1X of Aaron Morant.
John Willard heeding that passing flag, giving the leaders plenty of room, race fans, as they make their way around him. As up front, down the back straightaway, closed in on another fast car of Greg Truelove. As up front, Aaron Morant getting it done as we have got 2 to go, this time by 2 to go.
The 5 of Tommy Cordray, he has been about 8 car lengths back for about 6 laps or so. Now he's going to have to find something. The 22H of Dustin Hodges, he's about 8 car lengths back from the 5 of Cordray, and the 23 of Cody Holtkamp. He is faded, and he is a distant 4th as the white flag is out for the 1X of Aaron Morant.
Richmond, Missouri's own Aaron Morant. He has got that car in the wind as he goes down the back straightaway. He will make short work of Greg Truelove in that car number 47. He takes it through turn number 3. Race fans, let's hear it for your ULMA late model winner here tonight, the 1X of Aaron Morant.
Second will go to the 5 of Tommy Cordray, 3rd to the 22H of Dustin Hodges, 4th to the 23 of Cody Holtkamp, and rounding out the top 5 will be the 65 of John Benning.
Great racing action. Let's hear it one more time as he comes by, race fans. The 1X of Aaron Morant picking up the victory here tonight.